mean, obviously it's a big experimental music festival, which there aren't a lot of things like that in Seattle or anywhere for the most part, and it brings together, a lot of musicians that are more or less part of these micro scenes, and it brings them all together, or even, for someone who's attending the festival, it's like, it's kind of hard to see, you know, a few days worth of music that's kind of different. So, yeah, I mean, it fosters a very nice community, and I enjoy seeing other artists, and enjoy meeting other artists that make interesting music, and I mean, I don't have time to follow all the stuff that Sam does, so, like, I enjoy his curation skills to bring all these things together that are interesting and unique, and a lot of it's, local, so that's nice as well, yeah. I think I missed the first one, I believe. I don't even know how many years it's been going on right now.
I think
5?
I think this year is the 6th.
6th, okay. So I think I missed the first one. I think I maybe attended the second one and then played every one after that with Brain Fruit. And this will be my first solo performance at Debacle Fest. So
really?
It's exciting.
Very exciting. And you're playing the first night at Cairo.
Yes.
And then you're playing the second night with Brain Fruit.
Yes. It's just great that someone's like has this big umbrella that they can put out whatever they want to, and it all kind of fits together in a weird way, but it's all different, and it's all under the same kind of thing. Yeah, and like things, it's like things that might slip through the cracks that, like someone might put out by themselves on a CDR, but I probably wouldn't know about it, or other people wouldn't know about it. So it's good that Sam's, doing that.
Has a special ear.
Yeah. My first modular experience playing a modular synthesizer was at the Evergreen State College, where I went to school and took their electronic music programs, and they have a Buchla modular system, and that's really what kind of got me interested in this sort of thing. And I mean, I have to admit, I didn't really know what I was doing at the time, but it was just fun to play with it and just to build something. And I never thought I would be able to afford something like that, and I still couldn't afford a Buchla modular system. But nowadays, there's a lot more producers producing. This is a Eurorack system, so there's a lot of people producing, cheaper. I mean, it's not cheap by any means, but cheaper modules and systems that can be put together. So, I realized I could just get into it and build piece by piece or whatnot, and it's always shifting and evolving. What I do is improvise with this sort of thing, so I've never really I guess, working on anything. It's always just kind of an in the moment thing where I'm just playing and making sounds and I guess
Building?
yeah, building. I still don't think of anything as like a piece. It's just like a constant. It just is what it is in the time that it's there, you know. So if it's recorded, then it becomes more than what it is at that moment. But for the most part, I'm just trying to tune into like a moment in time and just see what sounds good to me at that time. So, and it's really influenced by like every time I play live, like by, you know, the audience, the room, the sound system. It's just a bunch of, you know, I get a lot of feedback from, you know, I'm just trying to like listen and hear what I hear in the room and then try to build something in the moment that sounds good to me at the time. Just make like music on the spot. So. Pretty much, I build a patch usually. Usually at this point, maybe a day or maybe 2 days ahead of time, so I don't have to patch live. And then when I play live, I basically explore the patch that I built. And the more that I play with a patch that I built, the less interesting it is to me. Like I find it more fun to have a pretty fresh kind of, you know, patch on the modular, because then it's not, the more I play it, the less interesting it is. I know what everything does, but it's more or less me just experimenting with the way the modular is patched up at any time. So, yeah, and it really is dependent on the gear that I have at the time. I mean, I'm always gonna make music on whatever I have. I just find this to be a more interesting system to work with as opposed to a more fixed architecture system where everything is kind of supposed to be a certain way or whatnot. I mean, I do enjoy limits on things, but as long as there's a lot of room to work with in those limits, then it can be good. But I think limits do force like an artist, limits as far as gear is concerned, force an artist to be more creative with what they have. So, yeah. And I guess this system is a limited system as well. So even though there's a lot of options, it is limited to, you know, the size, the amount of modules, the amount of connections I can make, and how many different things I can do at the same time. Yeah. if you're improvising and something goes wrong, you can't really start over again. You just have to like go with it and like own it and make it part of the performance, you know, and just like let it take you where it's gonna take you. I don't know if it's necessarily a confidence thing. You just have to go in knowing that like you don't know what's gonna come out, but it's gonna be an expression of yourself, of like whatever you're doing at the time, and it's like, you know, you can't win them all. You know, you can't have a great show every time, and it's just like you just have to keep doing what you're doing and just like keep playing, because like there will be those times where unexpectedly like something happens that is just like amazing and beautiful, and you're just like, wow, okay. And those are kind of what you live for, you know, like improvising live sets are those times or whatever, you know, and they can come about at any time, you know, but it's just to me it's just a matter of like tuning things in and making good decisions based on what you're hearing, and then I don't know, I guess you have to just trust in yourself that you can make a good decision at some point or another. I suppose it's easier for like artists to understand the experience of another artist doing something similar or improvising or being in that moment in front of a bunch of people, whereas like maybe if you've never done that before, you don't understand what it would be like, and you might just listen and not know that everything is just like that the artist is just like, you know, just trying to like make something happen like in front of people, and like, you know, like maybe it's easier to kind of have a sense of community when other people are doing similar things and have been in that same situation before, and our understanding of, you know,
empathetic of it.
Empathetic, yeah. That's probably what brings people together. And I mean, there's a lot of just like great personalities making music in Seattle, and they're just, you know, being themselves and expressing themselves, and, you know, everyone's going to be different and doing something a little bit differently, you know. And, I mean, I feel like we're all influenced and supported by each other, but at the same time, it's just like we're just going to do our own things, so. That concludes the performance element.